Time has come to pass for the Monday, November 5th, 2018, regular city council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Present.
Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman May.
Present.
Alderman Valco.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Mozio.
Present.
Alderman Villalobos.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present. Coming to the podium now is Father Tim O'Malley of Most Blessed Trinity Parish, located at 450 Keller Avenue, for invocation. And immediately following that, Ms. Whitmore will be leading us in the prayer. All stand, please.
Honorable Mayor Cunningham, Honorable Alderman, thank you for the invitation to offer prayer at the opening of this meeting this evening. I offer a prayer and a blessing for this community of Waukegan. We offer this blessing for each of you elected officials serving this community as best as you can. We pray for the well-being of this community. We pray indeed this day for all those who are here and are looking for ways to speak openly in this beautiful forum, and in this forum be able to raise their concerns and hopefully to build a better city. We ask your blessing on all the efforts indeed of our employees and citizens. I also ask a special blessing on a little baby. We haven't named her yet, but our newest Waukegan citizen was born last night at 9:30 p.m. and I'm off to visit her and her parents. So blessing for this little baby and her family and all of our children. And we ask this blessing with a great trust in our God who loves us and indeed invites us to serve one another. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome and thank everyone again for attending. There was a recent newspaper article that I'd just like to give a few comments on. The city of Waukegan received a call from the U.S. EPA about their 2014 data and screening tool that was going on their public website that next day. They let us know that this heat map on the public site was going to show Medline in Waukegan. They didn't have many details for us at that time, but let us know that they would have more information after they visit and review the facility, which took place today. We are now awaiting on the EPA to finish their report, and we have requested they publish their finding as soon as possible. We've had reassurances from our federal and state legislators that they will also push the federal government to get us details as soon as possible. We will let everyone know as soon as we are aware of all of their findings in detail once we hear from those agencies. Upcoming events. The city invites us to participate in the first public workshop to help shape the new comprehensive plan. The workshop is scheduled for Thursday, November 15th, from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. and will be held at our city council chambers. It is an open house, so people can drop in or leave at any time. Families are welcome and your input is valuable. You may have noticed we have 2 donation boxes in our lobby, one for the veterans and the other for Toys for Tots. We're coming up on the holiday seasons, and those less fortunate must and need our help. College of Lake County Lakeshore Campus is holding an open house November 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. The open house includes interactive sessions and the opportunity to talk to instructors, staff, students, and alumni. Please join us for the Veterans Day ceremony at Veterans Memorial Plaza on the southwest corner of West and Washington Street on Sunday, November 11th at 11 a.m. The Genesee Theater has a lot of holiday shows, magic, and music scheduled, including the very popular The Magic of the Nutcracker. See the Genesee Theater's website for tickets and a complete list of all shows. As always, for additional information and events, consult the city's website. We have 2 Waukegan Proud Awards tonight. Jocelyn? Is Jocelyn available? Okay. We'll hold that one off. The second one, before I bring that up, I'm going to ask Mrs. Shipley to come to the podium and give us a little information on our Waukegan Proud Awards for longtime citizens of Waukegan residents. Ms. Shipley?
How are you? Oh my gosh.
This is a family reunion up here.
Old homeboy.
Well, we might as well continue it on, yeah. How you doing? Long time no see.
I'll just start.
Stay right there.
Mr. Mayor, councilmen and women, and audience. On Sunday, September 16th, Mr. Benny Gray, Mr. Elmer Gray, and Mrs. Helen Ricks Gray sat down with Brian Escobar, the arts and history specialist for the Waukegan Park District, and gave their accounts of growing up in the area known as Market Street. The area was located on the south side of Waukegan, and there is little written history about the area. The accounts written in the mid-1950s talked about a dismal and unsafe area. But for almost 2 hours, Mr. Benny, who could not be here this evening, age 93, Mr. Elmer, age 86, Ms. Helen Gray, 82, provided oral accounts that gave a very different story. They were able to supply some of the forgotten stories stemming from 1925, when Mr. Benny was born, until the early mid-50s when their family moved. They recounted growing up on Market Street, an area that was family-oriented and safe. There were block-long gardens and people raising chickens to share among families. There was swimming and bathing on the south beaches, boxes filled with ice and cold stoves. There was industries on the waterfront and car dealerships up the hill on Sheridan Road. Everyone got along, and it was not uncommon to see celebrities like Joe Louis, Jack Johnson, and Nat King Cole in the area. Doors were unlocked and everyone knew everyone. It wasn't until the mid-50s that things began to change for the worse. On Tuesday, October 9th, Mr. Sherman McKenzie, age 86 this month, and Mr. Jim Epperson, who could not be here this evening, age 83, sat down with Mr. Escobar and related their experiences of growing up in the area known as Frog Island on the west side of Waukegan. When Mrs. Ricks married in 1955, she moved to Frog Island. The area got its name because much of the land was underwater. Many Negroes and colored people were only allowed to live on the south side. Eventually, opportunities for housing opened up on the west side of the city. The interviewees talked about a neighborhood of family and respect for others. There was one store for them to shop, and they had to walk to Market Street in the south side if they wanted to get things like a haircut. Everyone worked and played together, and the community began to prosper with the civil rights movement. The interviewees of these Waukeganites, representing the collective ages of 430 years, 510 if you count Ms. Ricks twice, will eventually become part of the history of the Waukegan Historical Society.
I just have to say, speaking to Mike, oftentimes even me, being the first African American to serve as mayor of this great city. And you look at me and I can see the pride in your eyes, but the expectation that you have from me to be the best and do the best of my ability. The history that you have, a lot of our young men and young ladies need to hear. They need to understand some of the trials and tribulations that you encounter and your families and friends encounter. So it is proud for me, and I can say for the aldermen, some you'll know for a long, long time, to be able to give you this Waukegan Proud Award. And it's given to you because we are proud of the fact that you were able to sustain yourselves, to be the examples of what it takes to be a citizen, an African-American citizen in the city of Waukegan. And for that, we are proud of you. And passing that knowledge on is the most important thing that you can do for the future of this community. Take care. God bless. No problem. We're going to make sure we get this to Mr. Epperson and Mr. Gray. Now, I want to know, how did you let the South Side girl be taken by a West Side guy? And this is a sign of this is for everybody, aldermen, as we always do. Take a picture all together. Hear that? Can't move. I can go again. Are we all in? Are we all in? Doc? All right.
Where?
All right, we're all looking right here. And one more. Thank you.
You got it? One more.
A lot of photo ops.
Thank you. I know it is. She grew up, Mr. McKenzie and Mr. Epperson, like best buds. All right. Thank you again. Thank you. All right. All right. That's it for Mayor's comments. Again, thank you everybody for being here. Item number 2, the minutes. Motion by Alderman Tempaz, second by Alderman Bolton to approve the regular meeting minutes from October 15th, 2018. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed and carried. Item 3, audience time. Madam Clerk.
Selena Gomez Belois, 3 minutes
Selena.
from the library.
From the library.
You're getting better at the name. I just wanted to bring my little friendly neighborhood librarian update for you. First, I wanted to thank the city and the residents for being patient with us because we were closed on Friday for an all-staff trading day. This is something that we do yearly to make sure that we are up to date on our own policies and procedures, making sure we're getting education to make sure we're serving the public well, and to have time to get to know each other better and build team. And I think you're going to see new enthusiasm or renewed enthusiasm when you come into the library now. So I wanted to thank you all for doing that. In particular, we'll have a more formal thank you, but I especially wanted to give a shout out to police and fire. Where'd everybody go? They came out and did active shooter training for us. And it was very engaging. I think one of the officers got tackled. It was great to see the staff engaged in learning how to protect ourselves and to protect our patrons should unfortunately anything ever happen in our community, which we hope we'll never ever have to use that again. We did receive training also on communication, and pads came out to help us work better with our residents who are experiencing homelessness. So we are all very energized and very excited to have to do that. So thank you for putting up with being closed for a day like that. Just to finish, because we had an extra t-shirt, we would like to give the mayor a t-shirt to be an honorary member of our staff, which means you have to make sure your library card's up to date.
Give us to him.
No.
So just FYI, Fridays are usually casual Fridays at the library. You may catch us wearing this t-shirt, so come on in with the t-shirt wearing. We'll get a picture of you. And don't forget, we do have a blood drive on November 15th. We hope you'll all come out and donate blood. I'm going to be handing out juice, and hopefully any of the aldermen, if you'd like to make an appointment, come and donate blood. So it says, when in doubt, go to the library, the Waukegan Public Library. So thank you. Unless anybody has any questions, I am all done for the evening. No? All right, come and see us. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keith Turner.
Thank you very much for the time this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to present to you my neighbor and friend, Ms. Maureen Lopez. Maureen is here to, I'm going to award her as part of my 6th Ward Rewards program, something that Alderman Tempest, I appreciate your support all these many years for that program as well, sir. But Maureen, back on June 27th, observed a young man out on Lewis and Greenwood. It's a little cul-de-sac there. He was firing a weapon in the street. Maureen got her children to safety. She called the police. She stayed on the phone, gave the police direction, description, status, all the information she could, and then stood as witness against this young man. I believe he was charged with 15 counts of gun crimes, unlawful use of a weapon, aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, firing a weapon in public, endangering public, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, I started this program about 9 years ago just for this reason, as an added incentive to encourage our citizens to step up and do the right things, right? So I want to, congratulate you, and I want to thank you for your bravery. It doesn't sound like much, but it is. It's a lot. It's huge. So I thank you, and I want to award you this $500 as part of our program, and I hope it comes in handy. You got your children and your husband, and give it
Thank you. Margaret Carrasco.
Election night on April 2017, Mayor Sam Cunningham's celebration party at Greentown Restaurant. Mayor, you looked at me straight in the eye and you said to me, Margaret, if I ever do something wrong, I want you to tell me. 2 weeks ago, I organized a community informational meeting and invited the mayor and all the aldermen to explain to our residents why they wanted to increase our tax levy and our property taxes. Again, the responses were, and I'll say exactly the words that they stated to me. Come stand on this side. Ward number 1, Bolton, no response at all. Number 2, Cedar called and said, what tax levy? Number 3, Mosio, no response. Number 4, Villalobos attended the event. Number 4, Newsom, no response. Ward number 6, Mr. Tempest did call, responded. Ward number 7, Ms. May, definite, said no tax increase. That was her expression. Number 8, Mr. Velko Khan had many concerns about it. Number 9, Taylor attended and said no way to increasing the taxes. Then 2 aldermen stated, and I heard one of them because he was on speakerphone, that they were supposedly contacted by the mayor not to attend the community event. Then I was told, you know, Margaret, it's just you. You're the one, the only one who doesn't want the property. No one else is complaining about it. Really? So tonight we have Mr. from Ward number 1, Mr. George Sanchez. I don't know if he's here tonight. No? Okay, Ward number 2, Jocelyn Zamudio, right here. Come forward. And we have Ward number 5, Michelle Lopez there. Is Ricky Ratana here from Ward number 7? No? Okay. Each and one of us, they say that if they were in your positions as aldermen, they would vote no. Why? Because Mayor, your campaign promise was not to raise taxes. And each one of your campaign literature here, it stated that the reason to vote for you was that you were not going to raise our property taxes. A promise is a promise. We voted for you because
Thank you, Miss Margaret.
you were not going to
Thank
raise
you.
our property taxes.
Thank you. Club Apazio, El Alto. Club Apazio, El Alto.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the committee, the city council. We are represented from the Club of Paseo Largo, a nonprofit organization which is registered federal and state. We are 501c3. We have made several attempts to try to communicate with the mayor's office regarding becoming a sister cities with the city of Paseo Largo, Guanajuato, Mexico. Approximately 2 months ago, myself and the president of the organization had the opportunity to speak with the mayor, at which time he agreed and advised us to generate the document and to be approved by the city council. About 1 month ago, I turned over the document to Mrs. Gallegos, the mayor's secretary, and tried to obtain a response to no avail. I then proceeded to contact Ms. Figueroa personally so she can speak with the mayor regarding this matter.
For the Alto.
There was a time when the Mayor Cunningham offered his support to our organization, yet we still have not received any. We come here to make an invitation personally to make the city of Waukegan a sister city de Paseo Largo, Guanajuato. This proposal is to better the community as an organization, from the contributions to the small businesses, volunteers, including the great support of the Mayor of Park City, Steve Pennell. The state of Guanajuato, Mexico, we are working together for a community of immigrants for a better tomorrow. I hope the members of the board can take this document into consideration, and since the Mexican-American community have made a valuable contribution to introduce and explore the Mexican culture and traditions, we are asking for your support. We have not asked for anything. We only are asking for your support. I have attached a copy of the agreement from the Mayor of Park City, who already has been a sister city agreement between the city of Paseo Largo, Guanajuato, Mexico. So I'm not really sure exactly how long this is going to be for us to get into the agreement. I mean, I know it has to go to the review board, and that's why I bring it a copy and give you guys a copy. Maybe you can come to a better time, discuss it, and go to the mayor. We're not asking for any financial assistance. We just want you guys to support us. It's definitely going to help us in the long way, in the long run. That's definitely a great amount of residents in the city of Waukegan who are from Guanajuato, Mexico. So if you guys, I will ask you guys please to take that into consideration, and we make this happen. Our goal is to make this agreement in the Mexican consulate by January. That's our deadline, or that's something that we are shooting for. So, thank you.
We are located in the 1220 Grand Avenue, Circle, and it's ready to work together.
Thank you. Laura Barreno. Laura Barreno.
I'm sorry. I can speak Spanish. I don't want to speak English because it's not really, really good. But I have my translator as my husband. Listen, all my community in Spanish. Wake up. Buenas noches. Vengo a esta reunión para exponer los problemas que por años han afectado a mi familia, al grado de tener que cerrar uno de mis negocios, impactando drásticamente mi hogar. El problema del acoso por la ciudad de Waukegan y la falta de apoyo del alderman hacia nosotros como residentes y comerciantes me ha obligado a venir y hacer algo por mi comunidad y mi familia. Estoy cansada de la falta de conciencia de autoridades que en vez de trabajar juntos y ayudarnos para crear una solución como lo han hecho con otros negocios, solo hemos recibido acoso y más acoso. En el 2013, basado en firmas, fotos, videos y las pérdidas tan grandes que hemos tenido, puse una queja de racismo y acoso en las oficinas federales de Chicago, en las cuales menciono al alderman de mi área, ahora el mayor. El caso no lo continué porque en aquel tiempo el mayor quiso reunirse conmigo, en las cuales estuvieron presentes el mayor, el jefe de policía, Susana Figueroa, un periodista, el señor Javier Corona, una empleada de mi negocio y yo. Llegamos a un acuerdo verbal que pudimos usar el Parkway para estacionarnos y que iban a trabajar para solucionar el problema de mi negocio. Estoy cansada de sentirme acosada. Estoy cansada de pagar ticket tras ticket. No puedo tener visitas, no puedo tener nada. Tengo un negocio cerrado por más de 3 años. No lo rento. Pago mortgage. ¿Dónde están mis derechos como ciudadana? En Waukegan somos el 86% de hispanos. ¿Por qué nunca hacemos nada para pelear nuestros derechos e igualdad? African American, Hispanic, white, everybody pay taxes. We are the same. I have my business. One is closed for 3 years. Come on. I don't have money for pay all this. For my customers, for my family, for my visit, please, stop.
I'm gonna go ahead and take over since.
Real quick, stop the clock for a second. Yeah.
This is the English part.
I understand, but you had 3 minutes. I want to make sure you I was going to let you know she kind of used up a lot of those, so kind of step it up a little bit.
Okay. Good evening. I come here today to this meeting to expose the problem that my family has been encountering to the point that I have closed one of my businesses located in 907 Belvedere Road, which impacted drastically my home. The problem of harassment by the city of Waukegan and the lack of support from an alderman towards our residents and the small businesses owners has forced me to come over here and do something for my community and family. I am tired of the lack of conscience from the authorities, and instead of working together and help us to create a solution they have with our other businesses. We have only
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Can we extend that?
Your Honor, I would move that she got 3 minutes. Can we just let him
Can we just have him
finish?
have 3
All right,
minutes?
let's do this.
Let's give him,
Let's do
3
this.
minutes. He can finish in 3
Hold on,
minutes.
let's do this. Your name gonna get added for a separate one for 3 minutes.
Yes.
That way, it'll be
Thank you.
consistent. So in
Yes.
the event we do this again,
Right, yeah,
follow me.
right.
So let's add his name. What's your name, sir?
My name is number 11 right
All right, but you 11 for one. This is another topic, so you can do that, all right? You know what I'm saying, Janet?
Okay,
All right.
he's down here
So
for
now you
number
have
11.
so you have 3 minutes. Now, you have 3 minutes to go on. You're a new topic. That way, the reason I'm doing it, just any event this happens again, we have some consistency. That's what my goal. All right, so thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. You got it ready, Madam Clerk?
Well, Your Honor,
Yes.
the mayor, we're a Hispanic community. Where is somebody to speak Spanish with me? Where's our translator for this type of events? Because I'm not gonna be coming over here every time this Hispanic wants to speak Spanish. What kind of translate? You need somebody over here in the city to speak Spanish and translate. So, here we go. We have only received harassment and more harassment. In 2013, I collected signatures from the residents, video and pictures, and filed a complaint with the Federal Office of Derskin Building in Chicago for racism and discrimination where the name of the Mayor Cunningham back then was my alderman for First Ward. I did not continue my case because the mayor at that time was willing to sit down and come into an agreement. At the meeting was present the mayor, the chief of police, Susana Figueroa, a news reporter, and Javier Corona, and one of my employees at the time. We came to a verbal agreement and to use the parkway and be able to park, and that we were going to work in a solution and see if they were going to make a parking lot. At that time, the only person who was in the disagreement was the First Ward alderman. Today is Mayor Cunningham. I still remember how bothered he was while in the company of the police to give tickets and how the vehicles that were in the parkway. I'm going to reserve the comments that he made towards Susana Figueroa and the Hispanic community. He even yelled at me during this incident. I have 4 witnesses. Today, I'm not coming to ask for his support, but to demand equality and support to put the parking lot for a building that it has 2 businesses, 1 apartment. We do not pay rent. We are owners, and it's very difficult to sell this building with all these problems. It does not have a parking lot for business, and every time it's just parking tickets, including clients, residents, visitors. I'm tired of these harassments towards my family and clients. We only want to work with dignity, and that's all we're asking for. Like any other family from Waukegan, I pay my taxes. We are a working family. We do not live in Section 8 housing. We do not have a lane card. We are not criminals. We are Latinos who work very hard. We deserve to be treated with respect and equality. I hope I'm not being retaliated or to being harassed, because I'm not going to stop. I don't want to bring the Spanish media to be heard. I don't want to go back and reopen the case that it was done in 2013 with the federal department. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Charles Rush? Charles Rush? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Charles Rush. I live at 1106 Sheridan. Travel Sheridan quite frequently, and along Sheridan Road, just south of Franklin, there is a manhole that has sunken, and I've already replaced 2 sweeper links on my car, and I probably have to repair 1 more. I understand that the city is responsible for repairing that road, and maybe something's coming up here. I don't know if to be looked at whether the state can take charge of that, and maybe it would be done more frequently. It would be nice if that be the case, and maybe you could hold the state responsible in case things go wrong. Anyway, along the way, on further south on Sheridan, the city has seen it was important to repave parking lots. I think a lot of that blacktop macadam, if you will, would be used, put to a better use, not on a parking lot, but on the roads. Second point I want to mention is at the southeast corner of Dorchester and Washington, there's a business, Roberto's Service. It's a repair garage, and it appears that the facility itself is in disrepair. There are parked cars over most of the lot, packed tight. I checked today, found 26 parked cars without registration, state registration, and 23 had some registration. Anyway, I believe the ownership is a hardworking fellow, but this lot looks like trash, a junkyard. This is the image that Waukegan chooses to allow to be representative. There must be a certain lack of interest in the overall image of the town. Another question I might have, what does code enforcement do? I think they do issue parking tickets, and they should be taking note of other violations, so that could be brought to owners' attention. Thank you.
Thank you. John Lee.
Mayor, Aldermen and women, thank you for letting me speak. So I come representing the Homeowners Association from Regency Woods in the 9th Ward, and I here to stand in solidarity with Margaret in terms of protesting the proposed tax increases that are coming. Over the past 5 years, the average annual tax increase for the houses in Regency Wood has been 4.8%. Yet over the past 5 years, our property values have declined 14.6%. I don't know how the county or the city of Waukegan are assessing the property values of our homes, but it's hurting our community greatly. We're a community of hardworking families, young families. I have a 8-year-old and a 4-year-old of my own. I was recently laid off from Harley-Davidson Motor Company. Not all of us are benefiting from the economy the way some are. And the continued increases to our property taxes are really hurting us as families and as a community. So I come here to ask that you keep the taxes where they are and do not increase them, because we're getting hit from all sides with taxes. So thank you.
Thank you. Brother Blanks?
Brother Blanks, Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. Last time I was here, I just kind of expounded on the family, the African family from the Cameroon, and also meat contractors in the community with the lack of diversity. And hopefully some of those issues are being addressed and taken care of. But also, shortly after I spoke, Mr. Peterson, he addressed the city council, and at that particular time, I don't think it was any ill intent where, he mentioned my complaint in context with the same breath and in the same breath and statement or sentence that he mentioned Margaret Carrasco's complaint. And respectfully, I would like to request that anytime my name is being mentioned with her name, it's time for me to take a break from the city council chambers. So respectfully, I request from city council chamber members as well as citizens that whenever I come up to the mic, I would prefer that my name is never even mentioned in the same sentence and breath as this woman. The derogatory statements that she have had regarding second chance employment, those with questionable backgrounds, the things that she have had to say, I refuse to have any affiliation with her in context or even as far as a citizen. So I would respectfully request that my name never be mentioned in the same context as hers. And I say that to the citizens, and I say that to the city council members, that as we move forward to address issues, and that's not even to speak of the allegations of the Attorney General as what she have allegedly done in misrepresenting her own people, alleging to be an attorney. So the people like that, I don't think my name or my organization, with the credibility that I would like to think that we have, should ever be mentioned in the context to the likes of that of Margaret Carrasco. I thank you all for your time and your attention.
Thank you. Lynn Florian.
Good evening. I'm Lynn Florian. I live in the 8th Ward. I'm a lifelong citizen of Waukegan. My father was a World War II veteran. I'm a member of a Gold Star family. My nephew lost his life in Iraq for all of our freedom. And I want to encourage everyone here to go out and vote tomorrow. I feel this is the most important election of my life. I have lots of things I would love to be able to say, but they only give me 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do is read something that Eric Zorn took the words Oprah Winfrey spoke in Atlanta recently and kind of expounded on them. And what he said is, for anybody who has an ancestor or relative who fought for our liberties, either literally by serving in the armed forces or figuratively in defending the rights and opportunities of Americans through action and protest, and you are choosing not to vote, you are dishonoring your family. You are disrespecting and disregarding their legacy, their suffering, and their dreams. And you are ignoring your duty to help shape a better world for all our children and generations to come when you don't vote. Please vote. Thank you. And when you are voting, I'd like you to remember these two things too. Research suggests female legislators are more results-oriented and more activists in seeking solutions to important problems.
Thank you.
Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Very good.
Thank you. Ralph Peterson, Jr. Ralph.
Now, normally we don't say anything about doing politics at the podium, but no, that's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Goodness.
Hello, everyone. I would like to start out by thanking my Latino brothers and sisters for coming up speaking. Great job. That's how it's done. I see that you understand and people realize they work for us. We do not work for them. Some kind of way it's got confused. So again, I want to thank you. That's how it's done. Mrs. Shipley is gone, but I heard her say in her speech about how the people that we were tipping our hats to, who were standing up here, and they're very decent, law-abiding citizens. I know them all. But I wish they could have stuck around so I could have told them that as far as civil rights, we're at a screeching halt, a standstill up under this mayor right here. And I found his speech hilarious. Now, what I'd like to say is I've never encountered a brother such as you in person. I really haven't. I've read about guys like you back in the 50s and the 60s, but in my 58 years, I've never met one. I feel your whole campaign was a lie. You lied to the black community, giving false hope, saying they would be employed. Didn't happen. You lied to the white community. You shot this poor woman, Lisa May, through the mud. You told everybody she was gonna raise taxes. And you sit there with a bold face as I speak, and you raise taxes across the board. You told the Hispanic, Latino community that they would be a part and have a presence in your campaign. Yet you took the seat and you promoted all white people in a city that's 80% black and brown. Yet you sit there with a bold face, sir. So I close by saying, you and the racist record towing service, and people, I'm going to get into that in great detail next week. I'm going to tell you, steal all you can, because neither one of you will be present next year. Made a mistake. I did not mean to say next year, next election. And I truly don't see how you sit. There's nothing I'm saying is funny. I don't know what the smirk is about. But you gave the African community a bad look. You really have.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Mayor, that concludes the audience time.
All right. Item 4, resolutions, proclamations, presentations, appointments.
This was read, and they are here to talk. Mary's nominated.
All right, motion, we got a motion by Alderman Valco, seconded by Alderman Mozio. You can't motion it, John, can you? No. All right.
No.
All right.
I don't get a vote, I only get an occasional voice here.
All right. Would you like to say something tonight, John, as well?
Well,
Let me get this motion on the floor. Motion on the floor to adopt and present Resolution 18-R-151. The Sylvania National Home celebrates 100 years. Yeah, 100 years. Wow. Now, we have presented this already. However, we do have Miss Mary in the audience to receive the actual resolution at City Council. But before you come up, Mary, John he has something to comment on.
Well, not really.
Treasurer
Okay.
Schwab.
Yeah, the thing is, we have 3 people in the audience. We want to come up and get a picture with the mayor, hopefully myself. So a couple of Sundays ago, they had the celebration at Bonnybrook Club of the 100th anniversary of the Sylvanian Society in Waukegan. There's 2 main insurance groups, KSKJ, and I'm part of SNPJ. So Schwab is not Sylvania of itself, but I helped get that started with Mary Carmody, and the rest of their committee will come up, and we're going to be presented by the mayor. Clerk, would you like to read that?
Okay. Resolution 18-R-151, the Sylvanian National Home celebrates 100 years. Whereas Sylvanian immigrants began moving to Waukegan to seek a new life and opportunity in the 1890s and found employment at some of Waukegan's earliest industries, such as the United States Sugar Refinery and the Washburn and Moen Wire Mill. And whereas these early settlers played a pivotal role in producing the raw materials necessary for westward expansion of the United States, and in 1895, Waukegan's Washburn and Moen plant produced over 100,000 tons of barbed wire. In particular, a brand invented at the plant called Waukegan Barb. And whereas Washburn and Moen bought and subdivided unincorporated land west of the mill for an employee subdivision called the Waukegan Highlands, and this subdivision would subsequently become the city of North Chicago. And whereas Waukegan's industrial boom also brought a population boom, and the community's population continued to grow due to an overall influx of immigrants from various Eastern European countries to our area. And whereas in 1913, Sylvanian immigrants decided that they needed a center for their activities in Waukegan, with access to a large meeting hall for the wider Sylvanian community, and fundraising began by selling shares for $25 with raffles, dances, bazaars, and soliciting door to door. And whereas 4 years later, construction on the building began when the cornerstone of Sylvanic Hall at 424 10th Street was laid on November 3rd, 1917, just a few blocks away from the American Steel and Wire Mill, with completion and grand opening in November 1918. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Cunningham and members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby celebrate the many achievement of Waukegan's Sylvanian community on their 100th anniversary.
Just want to let you know that our city clerk, Janica Kelly, she's Sylvanian, and Lisa May, she's a full-blooded Sylvanian.
Half.
All right, well, you're full-blooded today.
My father immigrated from Slovenia, for sure.
Did you want to say anything, Mary?
Thank you for the city of Waukegan for this nice honor. You know, tonight must be a night for history, because earlier we heard about Market Street, and the Slovenian home is just up the hill from Market Street. My great uncle owned a grocery store on Market Street, so I'm sorry that they left. I would have liked to talk to them about that. But 100 years ago, our people, our community, Slovenian community, saw a need, and people rallied together, and they built this wonderful building. And although it's no longer the Slovenian National Home, it's now the sign of the Dove Church. It's still a strong building. Yes. It's a quality building, built with love, and I think the Slovenian people would be very happy to know that our ancestors would be very happy to know that that building is still a faith-based community, and it's helping a lot of people in the community, just as it did 100 years ago. It still does today in a different way. So we thank you for this honor. My name is Mary Lou Chamernick Stefanik, and with me is the president of the Slovenian National Home Club, Albina Novak Opika, and she was around, well, I don't want to tell her age, but she's been around almost since the building was built, okay? And Mary Gornick Carmody, who is really our leader on this. So we're happy to be here, and thank you to the city of Waukegan.
I have nothing to say. She took it all. Third, come on over here. Yeah, this is part of it. This is Mary. Everybody. Everybody. We know how to do it. That's right. For you, young lady, thank you very much. A lot of history here, everybody. Yeah.
Right here.
Two more.
Come on.
Thank you very much.
We're the ones that are Slovenia. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you, man. I couldn't say that name twice.
Nina.
Lakanos. Ah, yes. Oh, goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ours took a little bit more than All right, we got a lot of history here tonight, huh, folks? Yeah, loved it. All right. Item B was put on an air, everybody, so just want to let you know. Reports. Reports of communication. Annual treasury report. We got a motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Seeger. Are there any questions to the report?
Mayor and Alderman, this is the annual treasury report. It's not the same as your, this is a requirement by the state. So the annual treasury report is required to be filed by October 31st of that year. It must be filed with the Waukegan City Clerk. That certificate needs to be filed with the county clerk, and recent as last year, we also have to file that with the county treasurer. Those reports and certifications are sent to the state of Illinois. The report must be published in the local newspaper and was published October 28th. It will be on the city's website shortly. Any questions? So my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. With that being said, let's do a roll call versus a voice. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye. All right. Item 6, we can... Alderman Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Motion to approve the dental insurance employment benefit with Delta Dental Illinois for the 2019 plan year for an estimated annual premium of $417,942.36, and I so move.
A motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome. Aye. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Motion to approve the health insurance employee benefit with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for the 2019 plan year for an estimated annual premium of $6,301,160.28, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Bolter. Any questions for the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Motion to approve the life insurance employee benefit with Dearborn National for the 2019-2020 plan year for an estimated annual premium of $60,389.79, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Newsome. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Motion to approve the supplemental vision employee benefit with IMED for the 2019 through 2022 plan years, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Villalobos. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Motion to approve the supplemental retiree insurance plan with United American Trust for the 2019 plan year, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Judiciary, Alderman May.
Thank you. First item is a motion to approve an ordinance clarifying the distance requirements in cases of liquor or video gaming license applications, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Villalobos. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
No.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Next item is a motion to approve an ordinance establishing reapplication waiting periods following a video gaming license application denial. And that's for 12 months, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Mozio. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Next item is to approve, a motion to approve zoning calendar number 2575, which is a variance on rear yard setback at 3108 Concord Lane, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Tempest. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Next item is a motion to approve an ordinance waiving the payments for vacating an alley and Gladstone Avenue pursuant to the ordinances 180148 and 180149, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Valco. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Valco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
And Mayor, item E was held over for 2 weeks.
Okay. Item E is held over. All right. Item 8, public safety, Alderman Newsome.
No.
I'm sorry, Alderman Mozio. I apologize, sir.
No, don't worry about it. Item A, motion to authorize the proper city officials to adopt as presented ordinance for handicap parking space at 833 McAllister Avenue, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Mosio, second by Alderman Bolton. Any question on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome. Aye. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item B, motion to authorize the proper city officials to adopt as presented an ordinance adding prohibited parking on Metropolitan Avenue, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Mosio, second by Alderman Valco. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome. Aye. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item C, motion to authorize the proper city officials to purchase emergency response equipment for 3 2019 Ford Police Interceptor SUVs under Section 2-458I-1 from Havy Communications, Inc., with a total price not to exceed $32,863.50. Payment for the equipment outfitting will be made from line item 296-629-626-494, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Mosio, second by Alderman May. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome. Aye. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Okay, motion. Item 9, no old business. Item 10, under new business. Motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Newsome. To approve regular payroll dated October 26, 2018, in a total amount of $1,507,421.79. Are there any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item B, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Bolton, to approve PBLC holiday buyback payroll date October 26, 2018, a total amount of $7,212.80. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item C, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Seager, to approve PBOC retro dated October 26, 2018, a total amount of $153,133.86. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item D, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Tempest, to approve final cash payout, name listed on the agenda, payroll dated October 26, 2018, in a total amount of $45,004.06. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item E, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Seager, to approve vendor payments dated November 5th, 2018, in a total amount of $3,522,441.13. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item F, motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Bolton, to approve outdoor special events, Let Our Children Live fundraiser on November 9th through the 11th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Green Bay Road in Grand, Green Bay and Washington, Green Bay and Belvedere. The sponsor has applied under the Director for Non-City Government Use of City-Owned Buildings and Venues. Any questions to the motion?
Question, Mayor.
Alderman Taylor.
Since they will be out asking for donations, these are all intersections that we currently have problems with panhandlers on. How are we going to address that it doesn't all look like panhandling?
I never really looked at it that way. I mean, obviously, this is going to be a different type of event.
No, I know, but
Hopefully
like,
they'll be
are we going to
identified.
do something with the panhandlers so we don't have any clashes out there, or? I mean, it's an awkward situation.
I mean, it's very awkward. I mean, we all know the situation when it comes to panhandling, how we have to be somewhat sensitive so we don't find ourselves in court. What we probably should do is let them know to have some identification on a vest or some safety vest or something to identify who they are and what they are according to what they're requesting. We can do that, and I'll make sure the police department gives them some directive on that.
Alderman
Taylor, Alderman Moiseo, and Alderman Villalobos.
I would suggest to have more than one color for the different days. It won't take the other people long to figure out which color and try to get the same color.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would certainly be an issue. And what we'll do is what we'll do is this. We'll bring them on and brief them on exactly what issues that we're having in those particular corners. Give them some suggestions as to what we need to do to identify to make sure you're separate from what's ongoing. And also speak with the businesses and let them know that this is going to be happening as well.
And I think we should probably make sure that police do extra patrols those areas.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now we're doing some things right now already to address just some of the ongoing problems without, jeopardizing anybody's First Amendment rights. So we're doing some things already, so that presence is already there. But we just want to make sure the individuals who are applying for this fundraising event will know about what's the ongoing problems, not only that we're having, but the businesses are having. Be very sensitive to that. All right? Alderman Villalobos.
Yeah, I just want to
Thank you for bringing it up, Alderman Taylor.
Yeah, I just want to note too that the petitioner, Pastor Willie Bridgman, is in the audience.
Okay.
So if you had any thoughts or ideas that you want, Pastor Willie, is it okay for me to bring him up to just kind of share what he was visioning, or see where we're at, or do you want to have the conversation afterwards?
Yeah, why we do that afterwards or offline? We didn't have it. We'll do that offline, and I'll share that with everybody. With that, okay? But we do recognize that we'll kind of do some offline things.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Why don't you stand up so people can see you anyway? Turn to the cameras because they're going to be. It's video, yeah. All right.
One item, Mayor, the clerk pointed out that there's a discrepancy in the documents on board docs. It shows as one place as September 9th through November 9th through November 11th, and another point it's November 9th through November 12th. Do we know which days this is really supposed to be?
Applications on the floor.
Are you going through the 9th through the 11th?
9th, or the application appears to be through the 12th.
Yes. So it's for the 12th.
Okay.
9th through the 12th. All right. Just so everybody know, the Let Our Children Live fundraiser will be from November 9th through the 12th.
And the motion's to be amended.
And that motion is to be amended accordingly.
Oh, one more thing, sorry.
Alderman Villalobos.
Also, if they're going to use vests, can we make sure they're reflective? At 6 p.m., be that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour, it's going to be dark, getting dark.
Yeah.
So we make sure that there's some sort of reflective.
It's going to be tight after dark, Pastor.
When we first fill out the application, at the time was there, but it would be from dusk to dawn. We would not be out there.
Okay. From dusk to dawn, all right.
We'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah. At that time, it was a little bit later, but now changed. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. So you guys will make those adjustments. Yeah. Okay. All right. Everybody's clear on that? Thank you, Alderman. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item C, motion by Alderman Bolton, second by Alderman Seager, to approve all attached block party applications. You having a block party this late in the season, that's a real live block party.
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Taylor.
This didn't come through as a regular block party on a block party application, and it's already happened. So I guess, is this really a block party, and why are we approving it after it's happened?
Wait a minute. All right,
It was October 27th, I believe, and it's not on a block party form, so I can't tell, like, there's not 3 signatures with it, so I can't tell if it was a private party or a block party or...
Want to answer Alderman Bolton? Alderman Bolton.
I want to understand that the timing was off when they submitted the application.
Yeah, it happened already, I'm assuming? Okay. Yeah, it has happened, and sometimes those do come in.
But why was it not on a block party form?
Well, what we try to do is have that person bring in, get the alderman, and get it into, not having it on the block party form. We'll make sure that happens in the future. Sometimes, I know I had my own block party form when I was an alderman. I just made one up, put our symbol on and did all that, so we'll make sure it's standardized. But thank you for bringing it to our attention. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Item G. Item H, motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Mosio, to approve all raffle sale applications. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion is passed and carried. Item 11, ordinance. Item A, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Mosio, to hold that item over. Item B, motion by
Your Honor, do we want to hold it over or table it? Table it?
To a
Talking to
specific
me,
date.
I'd move the table.
To a specific date before December the 21st.
Yes.
Okay.
Tabling it?
How's that?
All right. Then there's a motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Mosio, to table to a specified date.
Can we do that, Counsel?
You can do it to the first date, to the first meeting in December, for example.
That's fine.
All right.
Well,
December.
with-
To December
Does that give you enough time?
12/1.
12/3 or
12/3.
12/17? That's the, it's council's pleasure on that.
No, it needs to be approved.
Before December the 21st.
To December 3rd.
I'm sorry?
How about December 3rd?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
gonna
3rd
put
or
the first.
17th?
Yeah, the 3rd.
December 3rd.
Third.
The 3rd?
The 3rd,
December
yes.
3rd.
December 3rd.
Okay, that's fine with me.
All right?
Table to December the 3rd.
That's part of the minutes now. So everybody, this item will be tabled until December 3rd, which will be the first council meeting of December. Okay. Item B, motion by Alderman Valco, second by Alderman Villalobos, abating a portion of the 2018 tax levy for the payment of the principal and interest on the $7,005,000 in general obligation bond series 2015A roadway improvements project. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
All right.
I did have a question.
Alderman Taylor.
So are we basically moving these over from sales tax to, or from property tax to sales tax money? Is that what we're doing with these? To free up money?
No, Tina, I'm gonna let you explain that and in more detailed form.
I just wanted clarification of how we're doing this. Okay.
Why are we abating?
Right.
Let's answer that question first.
Okay, when the city council approved an increase in the home rule sales tax back in probably 2013, going back, the increase was earmarked specifically and it's codified for roadway improvements. So either to pay for them direct or to pay for the debt service thereof. And then there was another home rule sales tax increase that was the same. So when each of these bond issues were approved in 2015, 2016, and 2018, in order to make them marketable, they were sold as general obligation bonds, but the intent, which is in the bond documents itself, but also that was expressed by the city council, was to abate the property tax levy and then make the debt service payments with home rule sales tax that's been set aside.
Okay.
You have to do the abatement on an annual basis. You cannot abate when you file the levy when the bonds are closed.
Okay.
So this would be consistent with prior year where we abate the levy on these roadway bonds with home rule sales tax, and we do have sufficient home rule sales tax to make these abatements for the next levy year.
Okay. So, one other question, would that help us, because we're taking that out of sales tax and not property taxes, would that help us next year to free up some money that we will have when the bond interest is due? Can we use some of that money then, or is?
This abatement would be for both principal and interest due on these particular bond issues next year.
Okay.
The home rule sales tax that's been earmarked is deposited into a home rule infrastructure fund, which is Fund 202, which is only used for this purpose. So that home rule sales tax would not have been identified for
cover
any
that.
other purpose anyway.
Okay. Thank you.
But
Alderman Tate, I'm sorry,
No,
Alderman
no,
May.
May.
But I think we identified in this year's levy that the home rule is not going to be sufficient to cover the certain bond payments moving forward. It could help pay them, but it's not going to cover our total bond payments for the new bonds for the new road program. If I remember the levy correctly, it's going to be part of the home rule will go to bond payments, but we also need.
The 2018 As were issued specifically for roadway improvements with the intent to abate those with home rule sales tax. The 2018 Bs are general obligation bonds. There was never an intent to abate those, and those are not for roadway improvements. They're for other improvements, such as facility improvements, street lights, things that were not roadway specific.
Right, there's only one of the bond issues that was.
There's 3 currently outstanding, the 2015 As, 2016 As, and now the 2018 As, which were structured to be abated with the home rule sales tax. We were planning initially to do a 2017 A, which we did not do because we didn't feel home rule sales tax was sufficient at that point in time.
Okay.
But the bond issues were issued as separate series in 2018, so that the ones that were specifically roadway would be abated with home rule sales tax, and then we did a Series B that will not be abated with sales tax.
Thank you.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Timmy, for you. All 3 of these are abatements, the same way.
Correct,
Right.
they're just
Okay.
separate ordinances
Yeah, I know.
because we have to file them separately
They're separate
across the
years.
street.
Yeah, I was doing that so everybody understand. The abatements is going to go on for the next 3 items. Okay? So we need to vote on item B. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye. Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Villalobos. Ordinance abating a portion of the 2018 levy for the payment in principal, the payment of principal and interest on $6,850,000 in general obligation bond series 2016A, the roadway improvements project. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye. Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Newsome. Ordinance abating a portion of the 2018 tax levy for the payment in principal, for payment of principal and interest on $14,860,000 general obligation bond series 2018A roadway improvement project. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Velco.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Villalobos.
Aye.
Item 13, just kidding, just kidding. Closing items, Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Newsom.
Thank you. I had a few questions in the last couple of weeks regarding solicitation at the doors regarding ComEd and North Shore Gas. And after I read this, I'll refer to our Corporation Council as far as the legality. Customers can purchase their electricity and gas through the traditional standard suppliers. In Waukegan, those are ComEd and North Shore Gas. Or they can choose another alternative supplier. Some communities have gone through the electrical aggregation process where the municipality issues a request for proposals and negotiates an electric rate for the community. Waukegan considered electrical aggregation in 2012 and placed a referendum on the ballot. That measure was not approved by the voters, so the city of Waukegan has no ability to negotiate electrical rates or govern suppliers. Since Waukegan doesn't have municipal electrical aggregation, customers can stay with the traditional suppliers or they can opt in with an alternative supplier. It is important for customers to do their homework thoroughly to make sure they understand what they are signing up for if they select an alternative electric or gas supplier. In order to avoid scams, I would encourage those to visit the Citizens Utility Board website at citizensutilityboard.org, or you can call 1-800-669-5556. And I also have some brochures. And the question that came to me was, can you stop them from coming to your doors? And I will refer to Corporation Council on that since we don't regulate that.
No, we really can't stop people from doing that kind of solicitation, unfortunately. I know that I've had problems with them aggressively trying to sell me electricity in the past. And if they're aggressive toward me, and I can be a pretty mean guy sometimes, they probably are really intimidating to some other folks too.
And I would like to say to those residents that don't have websites or computer or anything like that, you can give me a call and I will get the flyers out to you. I can be reached at 847-494-4190, which offers all the information that you would need. Thank you.
Alderman Tempest. Alderman May.
I'll be quick. About the Green Bay Road corridor, I don't know if anyone's noticed at the hot spots, but Mayor Cunningham has had, or Public Works, but I'm assuming it came from the mayor's office, some signs put up regarding panhandling, discourage panhandling. So I just want to say thanks for that. I think it's a great move in the right direction. So that was, I think that was a proactive move to try to cut down on that nuisance. The article regarding the ethylene oxide gas out at Medline. It seems to me that we had Duckworth, Durbin, and Schneider all wrote letters to the EPA. Lisa Madigan wrote a letter to the EPA. This happened on October 25th and October 26th. When you look at this map, it does show that there's like 19,000 of our residents at risk due to the toxins, even though they are operating within EPA permits. We all know that under this administration, the EPA isn't necessarily our best protector right now. But even the Trump administration is vowing to propose more stringent limits on ethylene oxide gas in 2019. So I would just suggest that perhaps the mayor and the city council also sends a letter encouraging the stricter standards in order to protect our residents, and so that we could find out, how bad are we really, how bad is it? Because when you look at the map, it concerns me greatly that we do have residents at risk. I think that's something that maybe someone in your office could help us out with, Mayor, and maybe the city council could sign on, and we could also join our other legislators in asking for more strict limits on the emissions.
I
And that's all
second
have.
that. Okay, with that being said,
I'll second that.
Well, let's do a motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Moiseo to, I'm going to ask corporate counsel to draft this letter.
Okay.
Get corporate so we can have it there, and then get it approved by us. Try to have it ready for next council meeting. Is
That'd be
that fine?
awesome. Thank
All right?
you.
So you're absolutely right. Alderman, U.S. Congressman Snyder has already tried to reach out to me so he can give me a rundown of where they're at. Obviously, U.S. Senator Durbin and Duckworth are on a different level right now, but we get a letter to them specifically individualizing, letting them know maybe our disappointment, and not only to get a letter updating, but the findings, and get them to us quickly so we can then disseminate that amongst all of us. That's so.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's all.
Alderman Valco.
Thank you. During audience time at the first October meeting, a speaker at the podium said, among other things, that 97% of the police department is white, when the city is comprised of 81% minority. Both of these statements are false, and I would like to address them as well as other comments made during the speaker's remarks. First, as of October 17th, the Waukegan Police Department has 147 officers. 130 officers are male, and 17 officers are female. 7 officers identify themselves as Asian or from Pacific origins, and all are male. 13 officers identify as African American, 10 male, 3 female. 27 officers identify as Hispanic, 22 male and 5 female. One male officer identifies himself as Middle Eastern. One officer identifies herself as Native American. 98 officers identify as white, 90 males and 8 females. Here's the breakdown, the racial breakdown. Almost 5% Asian Pacific, 9% African American, 18% Hispanic, less than 1% for both Middle Eastern and Native American, 66% is white. That's quite a difference from the 97% which the speaker alluded to. Second, the speaker said that per Google, Waukegan is 81% minority. Looking up the 2010 census for the city, it shows that we had 89,078 people. 53% Hispanic and 42% African American, respectively, which totaled 95%. And then Asian and Native American population. There was no mention for the Caucasian population. The mistake was evidently corrected because the 2016 census showed 31% white, 19% African American, and 45% Hispanic, which totals 64% minority, not 81%. There are no hand-picked officers, as the speaker said, that do recruitment. This is done by IO Solutions out of Oak Brook, which helps the state police and other police departments, and our own Civil Service Commission, which is a separate entity away from the city. They have a set criteria by law that the members must follow throughout the process, which includes the physical agility test, the written test, a background check, an interview by department personnel, psychological test by an independent contractor, and finally, a complete physical from a doctor. An applicant can be dropped from consideration after failing a portion of the process before moving on to the next portion. After this, there's a 12-week school and a 1-year probationary period. I know for a fact that the commission has worked hard in regards to recruitment, but even with a starting salary of $65,000 a year, a lot of people have no desire to be a police officer during these troubled times. Getting yelled at, disrespected, having to fight with people, getting yourself on camera to see if you take the bait. It's not an easy profession. Years ago, we would have 500 to 600 applications to be a police officer. During this last process that just ended, we had 284 applications given out, and only 236 were returned. Almost 50 people didn't even bother to return theirs in. The speaker alluded to the fact that it only requires a GED or a high school education to be an officer. Years ago, when I was president of the union, I tried to change this to at least an associate degree or military service before applying to us, as many departments required at the time. I had conversations with community leaders at the time who said that if that happened, many of our young men and women would not be able to apply, as after high school, they had to get jobs and help the family financially, or just wanted to go into a trade. So I relented. Excuse me. The speaker also said that 97% of the officers do not live in Waukegan. Not true. 72% live outside the city. A lot of these are recent hires who, after probation, are not willing to uproot their families from jobs and school and move in like we used to be required. This is a trend that started over 20 years ago when other departments started relaxing the residency requirements, and Waukegan went with the flow to keep pace and get other qualified applicants that were available. The speaker was correct in saying that some longtime officers are making close to $100,000 base salary with the new contract, and it was also correct in saying that some make $150,000 per year with overtime. But you have to tell the rest of the story. We are down from 172 officers to 147. Staffing on these shifts must be maintained per contract concerns. Paying officers overtime to man shifts is less costly than hiring officers to get to levels attained years ago, as benefits run to at least 40% of salary. A lot of overtime is paid from outside sources. Some, but not all, are the Waukegan Park District, where all the officers are assigned to parks, Homecoming Parade, the 4th of July Parade, the Mexican Parade, Whispering Oaks Apartment Complex, Continental Village, Ravinia, the Genesee Theater, Taco Fest, the Seatbelt Grant Program, liquor compliance, and tobacco compliance. These are all outside jobs paid by the contractor to the city, who takes out $5 an hour after the officer, and the officer is paid $49 for the hour worked. Next time you take your car to a dealer for service, look at the hourly rate, which can push nearly $150 an hour. Last council meeting, we okayed a contract for $75 an hour for an elevator inspector, and $37.50 for a half-hour phone call. Nothing was said, because that's just the way it is nowadays. $49 an hour should not be frowned upon for an officer. You have to take the extra hours worked when you can, because it's not always there. Many officers have children's in sports. Travel softball costs $2,000 per year per child. Travel baseball is $3,400 a year. Travel hockey, $3,500 a year. And elite travel soccer is pushing $5,000 a year with tournaments, lodging, meals, and sometimes airfare. And if your daughter is in travel cheerleading, it could be $2,000. And if you would like a Catholic education for your son and daughter, you can, and if you can get them in, it's about $4,000 a year at St. Patrick Grammar School. It's $250 a month plus intern work money earned by the student and given back to Cristo Rey St. Martin de Porres High School. Carmel and St. Joseph High Schools for about $12,000 a year. In college, here's a little quirk from the Chicago Tribune business section from Wednesday, October 17th. Nationwide, the cost for full-time students enrolled at public four-year colleges is pushing $21,370. And I can tell you that if your child goes to the flagship U of I at Champaign, it's going to be $31,000 a year because that's what my granddaughter paid her freshman year. The private college, the published price is $48,510. And I can tell you that's real close because my niece and my cousin went to Loyola in the medical field and it was $43,000 a year. My neighbor down the block, who's a retired police officer, his daughter just recently graduated from Marquette and it was $49,000. As I said before, you have to take overtime when you can because it's not always there, and you've made a decision to save your monies to make your child or your children well-rounded and also get them alternative education during high school and then help pay for pay for a college education. In closing, what I do ask, and actually what all of us ask up here, is when you come to the podium, please have your facts straight, because when we are listening, as well as the audience, we cannot, for the most part, as some aldermen have said, respond the same night in an alderman's time as we don't know the issue or we do not have the correct facts for a response. If you have an issue and you need some clarification, call your alderman or call me. And if I don't have the answer, I'll try and get it for you. Thanks to everyone here who gets up and gives us your thoughts and views no matter what they are. That's how we learn and move forward as a collective body. One last thing, we said it one time tonight again, tomorrow's voting. Don't forget to go out and vote, okay? That's all I have, ma'am.
Alderman Taylor.
I just wanted to, I had many people concerned since Medline is in the 9th Ward. I want to make people understand I was not informed about this before everybody else was, so I did not know about it. But now that the information is out there, I will do everything to keep involved with this and let my residents know what is going on with it. I do believe since this, I know Mayor Cunningham signed for Clean Power Lake County, and I know as a body here, we have passed the Paris Agreement. I think we need to stand up and protect our residents, and because for me, these are 9th Ward residents, I'm going to speak loud and clear about this. We are going to knock the doors down to find out the information that we need to find out. And I guarantee that to my residents. Second of all, I want to remind people in the 9th Ward, your next leaf pickup is November 14th and 15th. Please only rake those leaves to the curb, not into the street. Get them as close as possible, and like I said, we'll take care of them from there. Thank you.
Alderman Bolton.
Yes, I too just want to validate that fact. For the first ward, your leaf pickup will be November 14th, November 15th, November 28th, and 29th. And yes, they're asking, do not rake the leaves into the street and do not put them in plastic bags. And please don't burn them. And also, I want to piggyback off the alderman's comment about the police force. They had open enrollment and receiving applications, and I helped them pass out flyers, at least 15, 20 of them. I only had one black female to respond and put in her application. So I'm hoping that she will get that position.
Alderman Seager.
My next leaf pickup date would be, where? November 14th and 15th. That's all I,
Thank you. Alderman Mozio.
I'm going to take the lady's advice from the audience. I already made my action by seconding Alderman May's letter, and I'll be quiet.
Alderman Villalobos.
Yeah, I just got basically one or two comments.
oh boy.
The ethylene oxide article, I'm in agreement with that. I would also ask for the mayor that as soon as the city gets the EPA report, if we can do some sort of public forum and invite the city, but particularly those residents in that region, so they can hear what the information is, because people aren't going to really look at it unless we give it to them. So,
And to that, what we want to try to do is make sure the right people deliver that message. We want the IEPA, the federal EPA to be those, so what
Right.
we'll do is part of our letters request, they come in and give us, sit down, talk to us in a public forum. Absolutely.
yeah, it'd be
I agree
wonderful
with you
for the
on that.
community to be able to
Yes,
hear
sir.
from the EPA.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's it, thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, that's it? David, everybody, tomorrow, voting. Tomorrow is voting, November 4th. Please, families, friends, cousins, get out there. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Bolton to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passed and carried. Thank you, everybody.